today for the Mahidol University Wiley webinar, Publishing with Wiley, Life and Interdisciplinary Sciences. We sincerely appreciate Mahidol University for hosting today's session. We are pleased to have Dr. Lionel today, editorial expert, overseeing Wiley's food science journals and a researcher specializing in agri-food biomass valorization, who will guide us today through key insights on publishing, Wiley author dashboard, and maximizing your research impact. Please feel free to drop any questions in the chat box. We will address them during the Q&A at the end of the session. The recording and materials will be shared with you within 1 week after today. I hope this will be a meaningful time to share the experience insights of Dr. Lionel. With that, I will now hand over to you, Lionel. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Eugene, for the introduction, and thank you for the invitation and organizing such this session. So I will start to share the screen from now. Okay, please let me know if you can see my slides.
Yes, we can see. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Lionel Zhu, and currently I'm working as a deputy editor in Wiley Life Science Department. I'm overseeing many titles, including the fields in agriculture, food science, and nutrition. So today I'm gonna share some information with you guys related to how Wiley empowers research and publications in life science and its interdisciplinary research. So my presentation and all slides will be divided into 4 parts, 4 sections. First is about some general knowledge in publications. Secondly is about our workflow as a editor and some tips for the authors. Thirdly is about maximizing the research impact and the editorial experience. The lastly is about some recent promotions in life science titles. So first, let me just talk about some of the values as a publisher. We just want to unlock the human potentials by helping the researchers to achieve their goals in an ever-changing world. How to do that? Basically, just helping them to publish their work in a suitable place, and then spread the word and let more people to read your papers and to cite your papers and to have a more novelty and creativity on you based on your achievements. As for the publishing world, there are 3 top publishers all over the world. The largest one is called Elsevier. It's based in Amsterdam in Netherlands. Second one is called Springer Nature. It is based in Berlin, Germany. And we are the 3rd largest publisher over the world with over 200 years of the history. Our headquarters is based in New York in the US. We are number 1 in both material science and chemistry science, as we do have many well-established journals and very famous journals such as Angewandte Chemie from Germany, and advanced materials, advanced functional materials, etc. And we are also number 1 in business and management science. Overall, we do have like over 2,000 academic journals, among which 1,400 it was indexed in JCR. So these are some of the titles I picked, from physical science, health science, and life science. That's just for your information. Actually, yesterday I extracted some data, from Web of Science. It is saying Mahidol University has published 137 articles last year in 2025. And, these are published in Elsevier, Spring Nature, Wiley, followed by MDPI, blah, blah. And so these are almost aligned with the, with the background that I would just mention to you. All these 137 papers, they were published in scientific reports, food chemistry, and discover food, functional foods, and also in the food science and nutrition. So this is for your guys, for your information to see, you know, where do your peers that you know, published in. And now, since we do have a Wiley Mahidol University's open access agreement, we have a TA in between, so that, you know, it can significantly ease the burden of the APC, you know, for the researchers from Mahidol University. So we do have we do have our policy listed here. So feel free to have a screenshot and, you know, all the presentation slides that I will share afterwards. This is a QR code of our online library service. We do provide many free services, and I will explain to you later. So second part is I want to, you know, share with you the information about you know, the workflow as an editor, and some tips we give the authors, you know, how to draft a scientific paper. So first is about the workflows as a editor. You know, I've been to many universities and institutes, and you know, from my understanding is many postgraduates, even, you know, some professors, they are not familiar with the process. So I just want to, you know, give you a general introduction. You know, once your paper gets submitted to your journal, no matters to Wiley or to elsewhere, to any publishers, the paper won't go to the handling editor's, you know, email box directly. It will go through a screening process, which is provided from a vendor, and we will check the three main things during the screening process. First one is called AI generated language. We are strictly banned the AI generated language in our review paper, but we encourage the researchers to use the AI tool wisely, you know, to embrace the AI wisely in the research paper. Secondly, they will check is that if your manuscript paper has anything related to cell line experiments or population-based experiments, you know, you need to get the ethical approval from the university or institutes, okay? Thirdly, they will check the plagiarism. Plagiarism is straightforward, you know, linked to the similarity of the contents that compared with other papers, but previous published papers. So after this was checked, then, you know, the paper will go to our handling editors, either editor-in-chief or deputy editors tab. Okay. Then we will read the cover letter first. Why cover letter is important, I will tell you, is let's take you know, the largest journal that I'm overseeing as a example, Food Science and Nutrition. So currently, Food Science and Nutrition is a quartile 2 journal with the impact factor around 5 this year. Okay, so this journal, the desk rejection rate is about 70%, and the submission per year is around 6,000. Okay, so as for me, I'm gonna handle at least 3,000 papers a year, which means that I may not have sufficient time to go through the whole paper, but I'm gonna read the cover letter first. Okay, so that's the information for you. Is cover letter is very important. Then what you need to include in the cover letter is that first, and the most important, is you need to tell us what's the novelty that in your scientific paper. Basically, you need to say that you have done what that nobody has done before. Okay, to tell us straightforward about the novelty. Secondly is about significance. So why it's so important that you need to publish this paper and you carry this all the experiments and you know, the importance, and which is the significance of the papers. Thirdly, I suggest you guys to recommend some of the peer reviewers. Okay, I guarantee you that most of the time that you're waiting for your paper get published is you know, wasting on find the sufficient the qualified peer reviewer report, because this is it's not their duty. Okay, so it's relatively a bit hard to find the qualified peer reviewers. So in theory, the handling editor won't use your recommended peer reviewers, but you know, just in case after 2 to 3 rounds of the invitations and there's insufficient peer reviewer report, so by that time, the handling editor they would use your, suggested peer reviewers. So it is suggested to have your novelty written there, significance written there in the cover letter, and also, try to just recommend some of the peer reviewers. So after we read the cover letter, we gonna check the affiliation. Why affiliation is important? Because I mentioned, we gonna check. There's loads of like paper mill and AI generated language and the data. This is a very serious ethical concern, as a publisher. So we do have a sanction list for affiliations. It's nothing related to the politics, but it's only for the research integrity. Okay, so after we have a check on the affiliations and the watch list of the authors, I'm gonna check 3 points. Okay, first one is the most important, as I said, is novelty. Novelty, how to define novelty? Different journals has different criterias, and depends on the impact factor, depends on the editorial boards. Okay. Secondly, we're gonna check breadth of interest, which means, as I said, our values of Wiley to unlock human potentials is we want, publishing, get your research published is the first step. What's more important to spread the word, let more people to read your papers and cite your papers. So if the audience of your research is limited, we would see that look, there might be a limit, limited the potential of your papers to be spreaded. Okay, so breadth of interest is also important. You need to check who will be the audience and who will read your papers and cite your papers and who's your community, research community. Thirdly, it's called solidity. Solidity means the higher relevance in between the discussion and the results. Because I guarantee you that over 80% of the authors or peer reviewers or even handled editors, they are not, in a area that English is their mother tongue. So you need to have a strong relationship in between the discussion and the results, as well as you need to show the ability of how you can process the data. It's mainly reflected from the quality of the figures and the tables. So after we check all these issues that I just mentioned before, then we will make a triage. Triage means that it's the first decision, whether we will go for the peer review or we will go for the desk rejection. So why go for peer reviewer is very important, because still, I will take 2 examples for you. First is our flagship journals called Advanced Science. So Advanced Science, the desk rejection rate for this journal is around 80% to 90%. It's very high. And for food science and nutrition, it's around 70%. So which means every 10 papers submitted to food science and nutrition, seven of them, you won't go for a peer review. They will get desk rejected directly. So that's why, get yourself all prepared. It's trying to aim for, to go for the peer review. So once you go for peer review, then, I would say it's a 50-50 chance. It all depends on the handling editor and mainly on the peer reviewers. Okay. So this is the main workflow for us as a editor, for your papers before peer review. As for AI, as I said, so the current AI tools, the word they choose is quite exaggerated, because I take an example. Okay, if you are using an AI to polish your language, it will say that, look, your research has, let's say, leveraging many years of development of this field. But if we say it from a human being language, it will say that, okay, my research potentially maybe contribute to such things. Okay, you get my points, right? So I'm saying AI normally the words they choose is not accurate. It's too much. So you need to double check and improve the language by yourselves. Okay, so you need to use it wisely. As for the criteria, I just mentioned 3 main points that we have the training for all the in-house editors. They are all the same. The most important is novelty, followed by breadth of interest, then the solidity. Regarding the review paper, actually we do have a really higher requirements for the review paper, because we want the review paper's author to be well established, and actually review papers are not only a summarize of the existing literature, but some outputs from their perspective. Next, I'm gonna talk about some key points for drafting a paper. I won't say that much about the logic, as this all depends on the supervisors and big professors. I would like to talk something related to structure and the language from a editorial perspective. First is about the structure. So this is an editorial published in Nature in 2005. This editorial is teaching the researchers how to draft the papers, okay, scientific papers. And so this is how to write an abstract. I have highlighted the different sections. So basically, what you need to write there is, look, starting with my research is important, what is known and what is unknown, what I solved and how I solved them, and the conclusion. And then followed by my results are important, okay? Then it's the introduction, it's the same. Why I'm telling this structure to you is that, to be honest, we don't want the authors to have the novelty and creativity in the structure-wise, because as I said, we need to make the evaluations in the very limited time. So we want to see the target information in the target structure and section. So do not have the novelty there. So this is the introduction that suggested from the paper in Nature. The same. Actually, introduction is the expansion of abstract. Starting, it needs to be readable. Then also, starting with my research is important, which is known, which is unknown, and then the problems I solved, how I solved them, conclusion. My results are important. Okay, I have highlighted here 3 times by saying that you need to address it again by saying that your results are important, because most of the handling editors, they are your peers, yes, but they are not that much focused in your area. Okay, peer reviewers they are, but handling editors sometimes they don't. Okay, that's why you need to let us know how important your research is. As a very successful research paper, you need to stress your significance 4 times. First in the cover letter, second in the abstract, thirdly in the the end of introduction. Fourthly, the last point, you need to say it again in your conclusion. Okay, because every researchers, you are in your field for many years. For you, many things are obvious, but for the handling editor, maybe not. So you need to stress the novelty and the significance again and again in your scientific papers. As for the results, it's the same. Like, to solve what kind of problems, so I did blah blah blah, then it turns out blah blah blah. Okay, so let's keep the structure fixed. And regarding the figures and tables, actually, the quality of the figures and the tables, they are significantly reflecting the ability of the researchers, how they can handle the data. So we do have a very strict check on the figures. So this kind of quality check is what we done after acceptance. So there are 2 examples recently happened to Food Science and Nutrition. This journal is there are two articles that get accepted, but finally rejected after. Yes, there is a production editor process. Is that after acceptance there will be a production editor to check all the format and the quality of the figures. So one of the examples, it is happened from a paper from Turkey, and the authors they were doing some extracts. They have some natural extracts from a natural plant, and then they using GC, it's gas chromatography, to try to address, what kind of volatile compounds are there from the crude extract, then, try to do some characterizations on the cell lines, on the antioxidant activities, blah, blah. Then, the papers get accepted after peer review, but there's an issue reflected by the production editor by saying, look, since this is a crude extract, okay, based on the GC map, the background, the noise is too less, it's too smooth. So he is suggesting us whether we can get raw data from the authors, okay. Then I send an email to the author asking, look, this kind of issue flagged by the production editor, actually this makes sense. So will you please just provide us with all the raw data so that it can prove authentic, of whether your data is authentic or not. Then after a week or so, the Turkish authors get back to me and by saying that, look, the GC version, the software they were using, actually it's not a formal version, so that all the raw data are gone. Okay, that's their email. In that case, if we can, it's highly suspicious. So highly suspicious that the data might be made up, by them. So that's why we rejected the paper. So my point is, if you have some figures presented here as scientific papers, you'd better keep. Firstly, you need to keep research integrity and all the ethical issues, because that's the baseline as a publisher world. Okay. Secondly, whatever experiments you were doing, you need to keep all the raw data, and you can submit the papers along with your raw data by saying that, look, this raw data I submitted is a supplementary materials only for the use of your peer reviews, but we don't want to publish the raw data. It's okay. But I'm just saying that to protect yourself and to protect the research integrity, you need to, do your best to keep the raw data and keep the quality of all the data that you presented. Okay. Then I'm gonna talk something related to the language. So in short, to sum up, is all the language in the scientific paper try to keep it simple and keep it stupid, because if as a editor we want to reject some paper, we have a tick box that we can scroll down. There is not a single reason that I can reject the paper based on the language. Okay, I cannot, for example, I cannot reject paper by saying the language is not good. No, but I can say that please, find some native speaker to polish and to improve the language. That's fine, but I cannot reject that based on the language. So, for your information, is still go back to the value of publishing, is that we want more people. Once it spent us loads of time and energy and resource to get your paper published, but that's not most important. What matters is, after publications, we need to get your paper, like spread the word, to do the promotion, let more people to read, to cite, and then to create novelty based on what you have done. So, all the language-wise, keep it simple and keep it short. In other words, the more complex you sound, actually, the dumber people think you are. This is one slide made by our global marketer. Actually, this the red numbers is the average number of words in each sentence, along with the time. That's starting from the 14th century, the writer Chaucer, then Austen, then Dickens, Hemingway, then to the writers right now. So you can see that even for the novels and for the literatures, the expression is getting simple, more easier to read. The same as it is the same trend as the research paper. Okay. Actually, this slide is telling you that no matter you're writing a research paper or a review paper or get a thesis or even write proposals for a project. So get it first done, then get it right. The following slides is more like a language English lesson, so I won't say that much. Just remember to use the word that we highlighted in red. Okay, make it simple. Same here. because as you can see, many author guidelines from journals, there's a limitation on the paragraphs and on the words. We need to keep it short and keep it concise. Also here, many phrase, noun phrase, we can replace that by verbs. Also here, I won't talk that much about this because this is not a language lesson. But if you are taking language tests like IELTS test or TOEFL test, you may use the black one, but not in the research publishing world. As for jargons and abbreviations, it is recommended, not recommended. It is mandatory to explain at the very first time, okay? Because as I said, as a researcher, you are in your field for a very long time, but somebody else, they may not familiar with what you are saying. Okay, regarding this, I've been to many places, and it is saying that the supervisor encourages students to use a passive voice to write the paper to make it more objective. But as an editor, we prefer the introduction part, the discussion part, and the conclusion is a little bit more with the active voice, because this is more like a storytelling process. You need to let us know the motivation behind why you are doing such kind of research, and what you have done, and what's your thinking, what's your thoughts, and the logic in between. Okay, so actually an active voice is okay and encouraged by the editorial's office. But the method and material part, still, like passive voice is more objective, because you are all following the protocols. There's no emotions there, get the experiments done. But so in that case, method and material part, still passive voice is recommended, but the rest of the paper, we prefer active voice. We blah 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 something, this is okay. This is some comments from many good publishers and journals, by saying that we prefer active voices. Here is one example by saying so. Is this paper is published in 1953 by Watson and Crick. This is paper published in Nature, as they first discover the structure of DNA. So they were saying that we wish to suggest the structure. So what we have done, blah, blah, blah. Then we wish to put forward a radically different structure for the salt, blah, blah, blah. This is a good example by saying that we do prefer, this way of describe your motivations and describe the novelty significance of your study. This is like storytelling process. Okay, then I'm gonna share with something about our Wiley services. First is the QR code I provided you on the very first slides. Is we do provide many author webinars, as well as in-person workshops. They are all free, so you're very welcome to take a look, and to learn from there. As for the Wiley Journal Finders, it is recommended for you guys to, you can just Google Wiley Journal Finder, and you can either copy and paste your abstract, or using a keyword there, and you can screen by the topics. We do have all the information listed there, that the titles and journals that recommended for you guys. If it is saying that it's offer open access, which means this is a hybrid journals. And if it's saying that fully open access, which means you need to pay for the APC. But given our agreement on the transformative TA, so that most the TA covers most of the both hybrid journals and OA journals. So anyway, feel free, and you are very encouraged to use this kind of journal finders, because it's very useful. As for the free format submission, over 800 of our journals that during the submissions, don't pay that much attention and waste your time on the formatting. Okay, formatting means the font and the size, and the format of your the position of your figures, etc. But it reminds me of one thing is recently we've been received loads of papers from the medical schools, and the statistical analysis, actually this is a very poor displayed. This part of for example, how many decimals gonna keep gonna be kept and presented in the research paper. This is very important, but it's details. Okay, that's nothing related to format. Okay, just a reminder for you guys. As for the research exchanges, we do have over 2,000 journals, and all of them, they're going to migrate from either Scholar One or the Editorial Manager to this platform. In this platform, we do have many AI tools, including promotions. As I said, that we value the influence and the impact of a certain paper, not only get published. Then it will link to the next topic is how we can maximize the research impact, and also I want to give you some information of our editorial board. This slide is I want to give you the information is that my PhD supervisor, he told me that his first paper get published in 1985. Okay. By that time, all the information he can get is he need to go to the library and go to the books and go to the very old school computers and get all the information and then get a paper written. Once he get the paper written, he need to print everything out and make it a package. Then post the package to the address of the of the editorial office. Then after a year and a half or so, he almost forgot, this kind of things. Then, as I said, he received the package by saying that, look, without any revisions, that your papers get published. So I want to tell you this story is that, recently we do have many, platforms and approaches that we can have the access to the papers, to the data. So it is highly recommended for all the researchers, faculties, and postgraduates to, to read more paper. The more you read, the more idea you will have, and the more comfortable you will be, like how to draft a paper. So these are some of the softwares that we highly recommended you guys to use. First one is ResearchGate, and most of the libraries, they may not have sufficient funds to buy all the database, but normally people won't let's say pay for a paper for cost that $50 or even $100, but I would say ResearchGate is a really good platform for you guys to use so that you can get the original articles from. Same as LinkedIn and X, Twitter, WeChat, TikTok. So I won't say that much because I believe that most of you guys are experts, in playing with the social medias, which is recommending that the social media is also a very good platform to get information in the scientific world and communities. Okay, so this slide is made by our global marketer, but saying how long it may take to play around, these softwares. These are some examples from my own social medias. ResearchGate here is that not only you can get the original papers from the author, but you can also raise questions there, because sometimes you may find some protocols is not working very well. You can post a question there, so there are many people will discuss and help you get the answer. As for the X, yeah, it is highly recommended for every one of you to have a graphical abstract along with the submission, because this is more informative, and this will do help for your presentations after. So it is highly recommended. Yeah, this LinkedIn and X. And also it is recommended that you have a academic profile earlier if you want to further your research career, either in ORCID ID or ResearchGate, or LinkedIn, or even in Google Scholar. Okay, now I want to say something, share with you something about the editorial board. There are mainly 6 roles are there on the board. So once you publish an article, you are there. I mean, your profile, your information is registered and recorded in the Web of Science. So which I need to put emphasis on again is about the research integrity and ethical issues. So never touch the research integrity as the baseline. Okay, you need to keep yourself in ethical and maintain the research integrity. Otherwise, you'd better change the career. Okay, so once you publish a certain amount of paper, we are able to find you to work as a reviewer. So this reflects me back with a very important problem, but can be easily neglected by the authors. Is about the keywords. Okay, so if you pass all the first decision and triage, that we will go for the peer reviewer. How we choose the reviewers? Basically, there are two approaches that we can choose the reviewer for you. Okay, first is automatically recommended by the system, which is Rex. Secondly is we will choose the peer reviewers for you manually, but it's all based on your keywords. Okay, so keywords wise, try not to have the novelty there as well, because if you have a novelty on the keywords, which means there's high possibility that we cannot find the qualified sufficient peer reviewers for you. Okay, so yeah, once you are publish loads of papers there, you can be a reviewer. And once you publish loads of paper and you review many paper, you are very well established in your field, and you can apply to be a guest editor. Okay, but still, as let's take food science and nutrition as an example, is that we are asking the guest editor to have the H index above 25, okay, to be qualified enough to be a guest editor in food science and nutrition. H index 25, which means you need to publish at least 25 papers in Web of Science, and each paper needs to have at least 25 citations. Okay, so we really value the influence of the papers. I'm just saying that publication is always the first step. What really matters is how many people will be influenced by your paper. All right. So above guest editor, the editorial board members, associate editors, and the editor-in-chief, okay, all these roles, actually, their names are listed there on the journal. All right. So they are working as actually an ambassador of the journals to promote the journals and to showcase how professional the journals are. And regarding the editor-in-chief and associate editor, I listed here because they are the people mostly in a journal. Okay, they are making triage or final decisions, and you need to know whom to email to. I mean, if it's anything peer review related, you need to find the exact person, either associate editor or editor-in-chief. And if it's peer review not related, you can email the editorial office directly. Okay, I'm saying this because recently we have encountered loads of emails that the authors, is emailing everyone on the board by addressing their problems and asking, by having their inquiries. This is not a proper practice. Okay, so you need to know who's the right people to go for. If you have any queries. Okay, the last section is about some of the titles in life science team. So this slides, I'm just trying to say you are very welcome to apply for a special issue working as a guest editor. Then I'm gonna starting with some promotions. First is about advanced science. This is our flagship journals, and this was very well-established editorial board, and we have a high criteria on all the papers that can be published there. Advanced Science, this journal, I would say 2 years ago, maybe loads of paper published there that are physical science, related to chemistry, material science. But recently, we are encouraging the topics related to cell and molecular biology, neuroscience, oncology, food science and nutrition, food science and agriculture, genetics, blah, blah, all these kind of topics, mainly in life science. As I checked the registration list of Mahidol universities for this session. Most of you guys are from life science, so advanced science could be a target journal for you guys. Then it's a journal called the Molecular Nutrition and Food Research. This is a colleague called Julia, from Germany, run by her, and this is really good journals in nutrition science as well. And this is the example I give you the most. It's called Food Science and Nutrition. And last year, in 2025, I would say the updated impact factor will be around maybe 5 or more or less. Okay, it's in quartile 2. So you are very, very welcome to submit or participate in any editorial or even peer review experience with us. And also, the Journal of Food Biochemistry is also one of the good options for you guys. And Journal of Food Processing and Preservation as well. All the promotions here I listed is mainly focused on the food science, but life science in general and also medical science in general, for us, we do have over 600 to 700 journals in total. Okay, expanding from new journals to the impact factor of 200. Okay, so we do have all the versatile titles that is available for you. So if you want to check which journal is more suitable, please use the journal finder. This is helpful. Grand. So this is the last slide that I want to share with you guys. Is we have, based on what I have presented, previously, that we do have many potentials to work together, either become one of the authors or reviewers or guest editors, or even have many strategic collaborations with us, Wiley. So this is my personal contact number. You're very welcome to email me if you have inquiries. It's not being addressed in this session. So I will stop sharing. Yeah, now it's a Q&A session. All the attendees online, you are feel free to open your microphone and answer me and ask me questions, or else you can text in the textbook so that I can take from there. I'm gonna check this. So if there's no questions online, I'm gonna check the chat box first. Gong Pope, you have lower your hand. No, okay. Please note. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask directly or put in the chat box. We'll wait for a couple of minutes. Otherwise, if you have inquiries after, feel free to email me. All right.
Excuse me, if anyone have the question, you can click the raise hand button and I will turn on the microphone one by one.
Yes, Leah.
Hi, Lionel. I believe that you have already addressed the question from the attendees, the one that we received. I just wanted to make sure that the attendees were able to catch that. So it's about which or the assistance or help that we can provide, or any guidance on which journal they can publish, if they're looking for public health, anthropology, social sciences, population sciences. So Lionel mentioned to go to the journal finder on the Wiley website. So if there's any other questions around this topic, please feel free to ask Lionel, our speaker.
Yeah, as I said, we do have over 2,000 journals. So even as a in-house editor, we are not familiar with all the journals. So, but in agriculture science, agriculture, food science, and nutrition, we do have over around 150 journals in total. So medical science, our clinical science, we do have around 570. And in life science, in general, like we do have over like around 700. So it is recommended that if you do have manuscript in hand, but if you don't know which journal to go, like Journal Finder is a good tool to use. Either you can copy and paste your abstract or keywords there, and they can have a match systematically for you, like with the similarity of the scopes, like compare, like match your keywords, and also how long it may take to get the manuscript processed, including impact factors and many other informations will be provided there. I got a question from Swan. It is saying, for systematic reviewers in lifestyle medicine and digital health science, what are the key distinguishing factors, competitive or for acceptance in Wiley journals? Okay. For the reviews, as I said, first of all, we do have a relatively higher requirements on reviews, okay, than research papers. What I suggested you here is, as for review, you'd better have your target journals first, then try to email the EIC or the deputy editors or even any of the handling editors in advance to asking them, look, if I'm gonna write a review like this and with the abstract and propose the structure, if you are interested in that or not, because as I said, like we prefer to have a commissioned review in good journals, but in some of journals that relatively in sound science, which means that we are not requiring that much novelty there, then feel free to submit your reviews there. So it all depends on what's your expectations. Let's say what kind of what kind of quality, what kind of journals that you are targeting for. Okay, including the quartile, impact factor, and how good the journal is. Novelty and clinical. Yeah, no, yes, this is I think I answered your question, right? If you have further inquiries, you can let me know. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, and also, as for many food science journals, agriculture science journals, and nutrition journals, and even for advanced science, if you guys, have any good research is already being carried out and you are wondering, where to go, feel free to reach out so that I can send you a commissioned email from my side so that, it could be quicker for you, like to get a paper processed. Well, if you guys don't have further inquiries at the moment, feel free to email me or contact me after. And shall we call it for the day? Thank you for attending this session, and thank you, Gongpomp, for organizing the webinar.
Thank you, Lionel.
Yeah, no problem. And oh, yeah, one good news is I already got 2 to 3 papers, submitted to Food Science and Nutrition from Mahidol University, and hopefully we will see like more submissions from your university, like in any of the Wiley journals. So take care, you guys, and thank you for joining again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.